The actual committee meeting comes at the end of quite a long process where patient groups, clinicians and the company that produces the medicine will have already submitted a lot of evidence to the SMC. So SMC staff carefully consider that evidence and they present it to the committee meeting. At the committee meeting, there's a wide range of different people represented. Again, there are clinicians, there are NHS managers, pharmacists, very importantly, of course, patient groups, everyone who has a stake in the medicine being available or not. So they all come together and it's really an opportunity for everyone to meet face to face and consider and give their views on the evidence that's been presented. The committee will usually discuss which patients particularly will benefit from this medicine, and that might be all patients with a particular condition, or it might be a specific group or a subgroup of patients, so patients who are newly diagnosed or patients who've already received several treatments. The committee is interested in how well the treatment works, whether it's clinically effective, and so they look at clinical trial data to support that. But they're also importantly interested in whether the medicine is cost effective. So not just whether it works, but how much better it works than what we're already using in the NHS. That's how much better it is than a standard comparator. And that's not always an easy discussion or an easy decision to make, particularly because there are a wide range of people in the room with different views. The patient group partner is there to make sure that the voices of patients, their families and carers are heard. And to do that, you don't have to be an expert in the clinical trial data. You just have to be expert on what it's like to live with that condition, either as a patient or as someone who is close to them. There are lots of questions that are important to the committee that patients have an expert view on. What is it really like to live with this condition? The clinical trial data might list a certain side effect, but patients can talk about what that really means and the impact of that. So the input of patients and their carers and their families are absolutely central to the work of the committee, because nobody understands the value of a medicine better than patients and their loved ones. There is a lot of very good written information available from the SMC, and you can have that in printed form or on the website. But very importantly, you can get support from the public involvement team. They're very approachable. There's no such thing as a silly question where they're concerned. And I always feel they really have your best interests at heart, not in the sense that they agree with your case, that's not their role, but they want you to do your best. So they can provide you with information about your role at the meeting, where you might sit, how much you might be expected to talk. Most importantly, I think they just put you at your ease, because the meeting is quite formal and it can be a little bit daunting, but it's important to remember that your contribution and what patients have to say is as important as the opinion of anyone else around the table. We've had a really good experience working with the public involvement team. I think they are really committed to patients being fully involved in the decision-making process, and I think that's really important. They don't follow the guidance just to the letter, but also to the spirit. You feel like you can ask them anything. You feel that they are experts in the process, but without being intimidating in any way. They're very approachable. So I would encourage anyone who is thinking about getting involved in an appraisal or who is going to give evidence to the committee, I would strongly advise you to speak to the public involvement team, because they really will help you to put the patient case to the best of your ability.